Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I dye my eyebrushes. Oh my god, okay. How I dye my eyebrows and my eyelashes. This is going to include the products that I use, the tools that I use, how I do it, how long I leave it on there, etc. So if this is something that you are interested in, then just keep on watching. To start off, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the product that I use. There's a little bit of an issue with it, but I'll get into that. So this is the Rooks Lash and Brow Tint, and it's in the color brown. I believe they have brown and black. And this is what the box looks like. The products that it comes with on the inside are directions, and it comes with 2 bottles. The first one is number 1 Brown Marron, which is just the color. But this is step 1, and then a number 2 Brown Marron, which is step 2. And it also comes with these little wooden sticks, which you're supposed to put cotton around, I think, to clean up. And then also these little thingies, I think, so you can put under here while you're tinting the lashes. I don't use either of these things, just being honest. I'm just going to show you guys how I do it. It's not necessarily the way it suggests. And please keep in mind that this is dangerous. It does recommend to go to a salon whenever you do this, but I just take my chances and do it myself. I try to be as careful as possible while doing it, but just want to warn you guys that this is dangerous. If it gets in your eye, it can blind you. So I'm just, disclaimer, I don't want to take responsibility for anybody going blind, so you do need to be careful with this. Maybe get some help. Definitely if you're younger, not 18 years old or older, definitely do not do this without your parents' permission or your parents' help. So there's that. And even when getting this done in a salon, it is still dangerous. You sign a waiver form. It's always possible. So I do want to disclaim that. The other things that I use are just a brow spoolie tool. You can just use one like this. The one I like to use is from Anastasia. It's their eyebrow brush, and it has a spoolie on it, and I use the eyebrow applicator to apply the dye. I've been putting off doing this for a while because it's not my favorite thing to take the time to do it. It is a bit of a process. I apply the dye on my brows in the shape that I want, and I leave it on for about 45 minutes or so, and then I go and rinse it off, and the color does not stick evenly the first time. I have to go back in sometimes 3 or 4 times in different areas just to get the even color all over. It's not necessarily the dye's fault. It's basically just I have more hair in certain spots, so it sticks to the hair better. And then it doesn't stick as well to the skin, or some of the hairs will take the color better than others. So it is a bit of a process. It takes me like a couple hours, 2 hours or so, to just really get it even and how I want it. The lashes are pretty easy. They're just a little bit more tedious and dangerous because you are near your eyes. I like to use a cotton swab like this. You can use anything like this. You can use a cotton ball and the stick like they had, but these work great. And I just douse the dye in here and then put it on my lashes. You would think the spoolie would be really easy to just like go like this, but the dye just flicks everywhere whenever you do that because it's very thin and liquidy and it'll just splatter. So that is why I like to go in with this. Learn that from trial and error. I think that's pretty much all I want to cover for now. I'm just going to go ahead and get into it and dye my lashes and brows, and I'm sure there's a few more things I'll mention in between that'll come to my mind. But I also want to say this product, which is like a huge issue, is actually discontinued as far as I know. I bought it from Sally's probably 2 years ago because you use so little, and these bottles don't seem very big, but you use so little of the product. And I really didn't start doing this until recently. So because I was just kind of like, I didn't know how to do it. I was too scared. And the brows, I didn't want to do them brown because I just thought that it would be way too dark, but actually got used to it and I love the darker brows now. But anyways, this product is discontinued. I've looked for it online, and there are a few websites I can find it on. Some of them are kind of sketchy, and I'm pretty sure on all of them that I found it, it says that it's sold out or discontinued. So when I run out of this, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've mentioned this before in a video that the stuff I use is discontinued, and if anybody has suggestions, please leave them down below. I think one person mentioned something to me in one of my videos, so I have to try that product out, and I'll let you guys know what I use once I run out of this stuff. I just haven't purchased anything else because I still do have this product. But I still felt like this video would be useful for you guys because some of you might have this product, some of you might still be able to get it, especially if you're a beautician. I was thinking maybe this is just discontinued to the public and maybe beauticians can still get it. So yeah. Also, the process that I'm doing is going to be pretty similar with any other dyeing product. Some have different textures, some have different steps, but you get the point. So I'm just going to get into it and stop rambling, and I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit closer so you can see better. Okay, so my face is 110% makeup free. I did do my skincare this morning, but it's like 3 o'clock now, so I don't have any like product on my skin really right now. Everything's soaked in by now. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows first because they do take the longest. I'm just gonna get them out of the way. And I'm gonna go in with product number 1, which is the number 1 Brown Marron tint. And I just take this brush. This is the Anastasia one that has the spoolie and then this angled applicator. It's normally for just brow product, or it looks like an eyeliner brush. But I just dip this straight into the product, and the product is liquidy, like straight up like water. No thickness to it. I take that and I wipe off the product that gets on the metal, just so it's not dripping, don't have any excess dripping on the skin. And then I start going in and doing the shape of the brow that I want. So you want to go ahead and brush through your brow like you would if you were filling them in. And then I just go in and start applying as if I were going to fill in the shape that I want for my brows. I'm not really sure what the step 1 and the step 2 difference is, because the step 1 does have some color to it, but the step 2 is like way darker when you put it on. So just re-dipping in and continuing to shape the brow how I want it. Brushing through it a little bit, creating the tail of the brow. You do want to get it pretty saturated. And then I'm going to brush these hairs in the front down, just like I do when I normally fill in my brows, and get this right here. And then what I like to do is just take one of these, what are these called? Cotton swabs? And clean, Q-tip, and clean up the edges. This product also came with a dye remover. I forgot to mention that. It's just in a bottle like this and it was a dye remover, but it literally smelled like bleach and it burned when I put it on my skin. So I don't use it. I just make sure to be pretty quick if I do get out of the lines to wipe it away with the Q-tip, and it's been fine for me. So that is the difference for the shape that I want. And for step 1, you're supposed to leave it on for 3 minutes and then go in with the step 2. So I'm going to go ahead and do this other brow, and this will have been, I'll wait for this to be 3 minutes and then wait for that one to be 3 minutes, and then we'll go on to step 2. Okay, so sorry if my skin looks a little red. I just washed it and I have really sensitive skin, so literally when I touch it, it like flares up. But, so this is what we're dealing with right now. A little bit of a mess. Stuck to the skin right here, not down here, not here. And that was 45 minutes, and you saw how dark it was. So like I said, it's a process. I have to keep applying and eventually it sticks evenly. I'm going to go back in just like I did the first time, put on the first step, then the second step, and then we will come back and check in again after another 45 minutes. I wanted to zoom you guys in so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. How the color has stuck here, but not down here, really not here. And you saw how dark it was. A little bit under here. It's stuck in some places, but we need to do another layer and get it nice and even. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay guys, so as you can tell, the brows have gotten darker. I am going to go in one more time now. I'm going to zoom in and show you guys why. The color is stuck pretty much everywhere but the front. Like I told you guys earlier, it just naturally does not stick there very well. It did better on this side, but this side right here, it's pretty sparse looking. And then also when I pull my brows down like this, there's like some bald lookingness. So yeah, I'm gonna go in one more time. I know this probably seems time consuming, and that's because it is. Unfortunately, this takes me like 3 times, like I said, about an hour each time. But this time I'm probably not gonna leave it on for quite 45 minutes to an hour, maybe like 30 minutes, because I do have most of the dye on there. So like I said, I'm just gonna go in on the sparse areas that have not taken to the dye and fill those in, doing the step 1 and step 2 just like before. So zooming you guys in, this is how the brow is looking, but you can see when I pull the hairs down here on this side, it's stuck pretty well, the color. Maybe a little bit more needed there. But right here towards the front of the brow, it did not take the color very well. And then towards the tail of the brow, I'm wanting a little bit more color. It's a lot darker in this area than it is on the tail. This one took a little bit better. But when I pull the hairs down on this side, as you can see, there's a spot there. The dye did not stick. So we're gonna go in one more time with step 1 and 2. Okay guys, so once again looking crazy with my dark brows. Every time I do this, my boyfriend is like, oh my god, do not dye your brows. Once they're washed, they look normal, I promise. Just have faith. So yeah, I'm gonna let this dry for about 30 minutes and then I'll be back with them washed off to check in. Okay, and several hours later, here we are. My brows are finally done. I do realize that they are like super duper dark, which I really don't think looks bad. Like I really like the intense brow, but one thing to keep in mind is this is going to fade, especially like the first 2 days. After those over is really like what they're gonna be like for a while, but the first 2 days they do a lot of fading, so they're not as intense. This camera kind of makes it look a little bit more intense because it's not such high def, so it doesn't really look like you can't see the actual hairs. It just kind of looks like a block of color right now. But in person they're not as intense looking. But I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can get a better look at them, and these are the brows complete. So it did take me a while. It took me, was it 3 or 4 applications? Usually it doesn't take me quite as long because I don't wait as long in between to dye them, so they pick up the color, so I don't have to do as much color because there's still some of the dye left. If I keep up with it, it's not as bad, but like I said, I waited a while in between this and the last time, so it was 3 applications. The first 2 I waited 45 minutes, and then the last one I waited like 30 minutes. Everybody's results are going to be different. If you have darker brows already, I'm sure it's going to be a lot easier for you. If you have blonde eyebrows like me though, it's going to take a few times to get that even all over application that you want. So yeah, this is the finished result. I'm going to zoom in and show you guys what they look like. So this is how the brows are looking. I look like a legit vampire with these lights right now. Oh my god, if one more thing drops, I might lose my mind. I like them. I think they look good. Just my personal preference to have the darker brows. It looks a lot better to me than having the blonde brows where I can't even see them. And I like the color. So I hope this was helpful for you guys with the brows and everything. Like I said, they're super intense right now. They will fade and look better, but I hope this was helpful. And now I'm gonna jump into the lashes and show you guys how I do those. So we're gonna go in with step 1 and step 2, just like we did on the brows, but obviously we're not gonna be using this eyebrow applicator. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be using Q-tips, It does suggest on the bottle to apply Vaseline around the areas that you don't want the product to go. You could have done that with the brows also, but I don't do it with my brows or my lashes. I'm not gonna lie, I do get some dye sometimes, like right here, but really it just looks like a faded brown liner, and it goes away within like the first 2 days of me washing my face. So yeah, taking the Q-tip, dipping into the number 1. I'm gonna definitely soak this off a little bit. Go ahead and start applying this to the lashes. Since I do use that Road and Field lash serum, my lashes don't fall out as much. So I feel like the dye lasts longer on them. Be careful not to poke yourself in the eye with this. The lashes are not going to be perfect, and every single lash is not going to get dyed. It's just not going to happen. So they're not going to be perfect, that's for sure. I just like to dye them so there's a little bit more color there than the blonde, make them more visible. So I just want to make sure and address that. They're not going to be absolutely perfect. Not every single hair is going to get dyed. So once that's dried for 3 minutes, we're going to go in with step 2 the same exact way on the cotton Q-tip. Get in there. And this is how my lashes are looking. The lashes are a lot more simple, and I leave this on here for about 5 minutes and then rinse it off. I'm just gonna go in and kind of do a second layer. Make sure this is not too oversaturated so it doesn't drip off into your eye. Okay, so those are the top lashes done, and now I'm gonna do the bottom. I don't try to mess around too much with the bottom lashes. They're pretty thin and light, so it's hard to get a lot of color to stick to them. So I just kind of do a couple strokes across like this, try to get as much on there as I can, but while still being careful. Okay, so I have the lash dye on there. I'm gonna let this sit for like 5 minutes or so and then wash it off, and then I'll come back and check in with you guys. Okay guys, that completes how I dye my lashes and my brows. I hope this was helpful for any of you who are wanting to dye your lashes or your brows. You can get an idea of the process, how it's not always going to be perfect. You need to be careful. Definitely find a product that works best for you and what you're comfortable with. I wish that this was still, this box is like totally ratchet, I'm sorry. But I wish this product was still available. Like, I don't understand why they discontinued it. Because I really like it. It works for me. Like I said, it might just only be available to beauticians and people who have their cosmetologist license. So I don't know if that's the case or what, but I hope that I can find a product in the future that I will use for you guys, and I will definitely update you on that, because it's only a certain amount of time before I run out of this and I'm gonna have to find something else. I'm not looking forward to that time. Thank you for watching this video today. Make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below, the big red button that says subscribe. And if you want to get notifications when I post a video, just hit the little bell that's beside the subscribe button and it will notify you whenever I upload. So yeah, that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.